Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Run It Back, the show where we try to get things right the second time. In today's episode, we're going to be going over a open draft, Arena Open Day 2 Draft 2, best of 3. And as you can see here with a record of 3 and 2, that means Tassiger from our AGL server brought home a cool $1,000. As we open up pack 1 and take a look here, I'm noticing lots of red cards. We've got Reckless Detective, which is fantastic. The Chases on, which is good. Person of Interest, which is very good as well. And then even Felonious Rage and Connecting the Dots, which are very playable. I'm noticing we've also got things like Extract Confession and Slice from the Shadows, which I don't really love trying to go into black, but it is sort of what it is. I love this pick of Reckless Detective. I think it's something that is good on its own, and if we end up playing red-blue, red-green, red-white, but black, that's great. I want Reckless Detective all the time. However, it's very easy to be able to wheel one of these 3 red cards, or potentially even a Connecting the Dots in this pack. And if things like Hedge Whisperer or Extract Confession are still around by the time that we get back to this thing, that really helps show us some signs. If all of those cards are taken, then, maybe we end up in Fanatical Strength or who knows what else we find, but I find that a little bit hard to believe. Moving on to pack 1, pick 2. The uncommons are just not really it. Flourishing Bondkin I do like, but not this early. And then our 2 red cards here are like filler. I mean, both fine, but both, filler as is. The 2 big cards I'm looking at are like Tunnel Tipster and Inside Source here. Inside Source obviously being head and shoulders sort of above the Tunnel Tipster, especially in that red-white shell that you're looking for. Going wide, detectives, things look good here. Pack 1, pick 3. Not a lot for either the red or the white. I don't mind a Harry Dronesmith, but this is pretty much in red-blue because you want to pair it with satchels. You want to pair it with, other things that can sacrifice your artifacts. Notably, your Reckless Detective looks particularly good with the Harry Dronesmith because you can sacrifice the Thopter, by stacking your triggers accordingly. But looks like Tassiger is going with just straight power in Loxodon Eavesdropper being one of the most powerful cards. The most powerful card obviously being this Repulsive Mutation, but we're not going red-white into a blue-green card. So Loxodon Eavesdropper, very reasonable card. If you wanted to try to force that red-white, you've got this Museum Nightwatch. But in such an important draft like this, I think you want to try to stay open as best you can. Pack 1, pick 4. We're gifted a little bit of gift here. We've got 2 great detective cards in the Boros shell, and kind of just suggests that the last pack in pack 3 just wasn't that strong of a red-white shell. We've got Perimeter Enforcer here, which turns out to be the pick, and I love that because we've already got 2 detectives. Shoot, if we're playing Loxodon Eavesdropper, we have a 3rd detective. I would love a Meddling Youths. I would love an On the Job, and even Vengeful Tracker is pretty playable as it is. But Flying, Lifelink, great on the race. You pretty easily swing in for 2 damage consecutively here with Perimeter Enforcer. Pack 1, pick 5. I see Museum Nightwatch here. I think I'm actually disagreeing with this pick, which I'm not that, often to do with Tassiger. Notably, something to think about is that we only have 1 red card and 2 white cards, but I think I want this fish. I think I want either Red Herring or Convenient Target. Both are good, but I think I take the fish over the Museum Nightwatch. I've been pretty unimpressed with the Nightwatch overall. Haven't really liked it very much. And I think this Red Herring has been significantly better. But at the end of the day, Tasker's the one who's playing in the open and not me. So Museum Nightwatch is the pick. I might have taken this Red Herring here. Pack 1, pick 6. We're pretty solidly in red-white here with Dogwalker. This is a great pickup. Very much want this card. Pack 1, pick 7. Not a lot here for us. A couple of rares that are no good, an uncommon that's no good. We could take the Shady Informant, but I don't really want to be playing that. So we take a Suspicious Detonation, and this is very much a card that if we have to play, we're not happy about it. But it does work particularly well with like a post-combat after Reckless Detective sacrifices a clue or something like that. So there's definitely uses for it here. Don't mind picking it up. Kind of wish it might have even been a little bit later. Pack 1, pick 8, absolutely nothing here for us. So we take the best card. Long Goodbye really shouldn't be in the pack anymore, so I don't mind speculating here on a little bit of black. Pack 1, pick 9, we kind of talked about some of the cards that we were looking at wheeling, maybe potentially one of these things. I don't mind taking the Chases on over Connecting the Dots. However, had we had our, fish over this Museum Nightwatch, I might have actually suggested you know, connecting the dots here. I don't mind this card. I'm not first picking it, but I don't mind it on the wheel. I think it's actually quite good in these hyper-aggressive white-red decks, which it kind of looks like we're going down that route. Chases on, great card. Pack 1, pick 10. This is where I wouldn't really mind a Suspicious Detonation. I kind of wish this first one was something else, but there wasn't a whole lot in the pack, so there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Pack 1, pick 11. We're kind of just holding on to our black hopes here just in case that something crazy happens. Polygraph Orb is fine. We're not playing blue here. Pack 1, pick 12. Curse of the Gorgon Kiss. If there's a deck for it, it's red-black. I don't think we're playing this card. This is just sort of a late game or a late pack dreg. Pack 1, pick 13. Nice. Slime Against Humanity. Moving on to pack 2, pick 1. We've got so many cards we could look at. I see a Buzz Crusher here, a Red Herring, a Shock. We've got Auspicious Arrival, and then a Dog Walker. Now, Tasker ends up going with the Dog Walker, which you really can't go wrong here. I do think that you want a creature over maybe the Shock, and I think Shock is probably my 5th card on this list. I don't know if Dog Walker's probably going to wheel in this pack. Likely not. So I don't mind picking it up here. Red Herring is also probably pretty good. And I think we're likely just taking the cheap creatures over the rare here. And maybe this thing wheels. Probably doesn't. This goes well in a red-blue or a red-green deck. Unfortunate to see all these great cards passing us by. Who knows? Maybe we'll get something on the wheel. Pack 2, pick 2. Yeah, looking difference between a push-pull and Auspicious Arrival. Both can be pretty back-breaking. However, Auspicious Arrival pretty much requires you to be attacking, which you obviously want to be doing. Push-pull is a top-decking card towards the end of the game. Plus, if there's just something you have to get rid of, let's say a flyer of some kind that they're attacking you with, you can use the push side to get taken care of. Pack 2, pick 3. Really only 2 cards for us. The Market Watch Phantom and a Person of Interest. I don't mind a Person of Interest here, but I think the Phantom is very much what you want to be doing this early in the pack. Pack 2, pick 4. Couple of red cards, couple of white cards, but none of them good, right? Like, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Cryptex is no good. Like, none of these cards are good. So we take the Offender at Large, which is at least a playable card. It plays particularly well just slamming things and getting in with, like, a dog from your Dog Walker. Also works particularly well with push-pull to pull it back, which is great. Pack 2, pick 5. This is really interesting for me. I don't mind a Harry Jonesmith. In fact, I think I like it over a Museum Night Watch. I also don't mind a Felonious Rage, which I think could play particularly well in a deck like this. Tasker decides to go with a Wisp Drink Vampire, which I think might go particularly well with some of like these black cards that we've got in here, and maybe shift over into a little Mardu Shell, but I don't know. It's obviously a powerful card, and it plays, you know, pretty well, pretty much as it looks, but I don't really know if that's what I want to be doing. I think I want to just kind of go down this route of Felonious Rage and keep going. Pack 2, pick 6. Really nothing here for us. Things have kind of started to dry up on the red side of things. So Sanguine Savior plays in the red-white shell. It also plays in this Mardu build if we're going down that road. So I don't mind this pickup here. Pack 2, pick 7. We still see a Market Watch Phantom in the pack here, which is great. I love this pick. If it wasn't here, we might end up like sliding even more so into black with a Slice from the Shadows. But lucky for us, Market Watch Phantom still around, still good, still want. Pack 2, pick 8. Although Victimize is a phenomenal card, I don't think it's the sort of thing that we want to be doing. Soul Innervation is great, but there's a lot of black flown in pack 2. I'm a little curious to see if either black sticks around in pack 3 or if it starts to dry up and maybe just somebody is red in the seat right next to us. Pack 2, pick 9. Wow, we see a Soul Innervation still around, but obviously this Auspicious Arrival is very much the card that we want. Essentially, both of them kill opposing creatures. This one just does it for 2 and also draws you a card, so that is pretty great news for us here in Pack 2, pick 9. Pack 2, pick 10, we pick up a Gorehound, which I don't mind. I think this is kind of the place where we want that Gorehound, so, you know, speculating on it a little bit more and seeing where we end up is good. Pack 2, pick 10, not a whole lot here for you. Repeat Offender, I think, is good. If we're just drafting normally, I might take the 20 gems, but obviously when you're looking at the Arena Open, let's go ahead and pick any card that we might play. Pack 2, pick 12, same thing goes here. I might take the Cryptex here. I think that might be a little bit more likely, just because you can end up collecting off all the creatures, but I just don't think this is like that playable. Pack 2, pick 13. This is a great pickup here in this Macabre construction. I think it's something that we could end up like trading off a dog or a dog walker with and then casting for 2 mana. I don't know if we're really playing it, but in the 13th pick, like this is the exact kind of card I want. Pack 3, pick 1. We see a bomb rare here in Aurelia the Law Above, but you know what? Tasker seems like they are not on it. We might be shifting over into a white-black deck, taking out things like Reckless Detective chases on and some of these other creatures. And as I take a look down at the deck here, you know, Push Pull can be cast for white and black. Dogwalker is double white. Everything else is white-black here. So looks like we're going to skip over Aurelia, pass that over to somebody else. Even Crashing Footfalls, which is a great card as well. Unfortunately, not something that we can really play with. Perimeter Enforcer, however, a great card if we're still on the Detectives plan. Now, notably, we don't have too many Detectives. So I got Inside Source, Night Watch when it dies. We've got both these Market Watch Phantoms and Perimeter Enforcer. But other than that, not many Detectives here. So we're just sort of playing this as a 2 power or less flyer. Lifelink maybe can be a little bit better. Pack 3, pick 2. Auspicious Arrival, still great. Notably, if we were still kind of on the red-white plan, we could end up getting a red herring here, and I think that would be a very different deck. I think red's going to start flowing here in pack 3 a little bit. Pack 3, pick 3, we have a Treacherous Greed. I think this card is really good in this deck specifically. We've got the Vampire here, as well as 2 different cards from Inside Source, 4 flyers on 2, which I don't mind, plus all these little dogs. I think this is a card that generally I don't like drafting, but I think right here, I think this is great. I want it, and I think this is exactly what we're looking for. Pack 3, pick 4. We see a Long Goodbye still around, which is pretty good. Notably, an Auspicious Arrival still here, but I think we've already got 2 of those. And so I want this Long Goodbye just to take care of a Morph on 3 or something similar. Pack 3, pick 5. I love an Extracted Confession. I think this is a great card that we want at least 1 of, if not 2 of, so great pickup here. Pack 3, pick 6. Haas the Vigilante is a perfect curve topper. I don't know if we're really playing this orb here as we're kind of in aggressive strategy, but we've got so many creatures of power 2 or less, so, you know, this Haas the Vigilante is phenomenal. Pack 3, pick 7. I don't think we're playing Lead Pipe. Maybe we do if we're really running low on playables, but I don't really love it. Notably, we haven't really seen too many red cards, so my suspicion that red might be a little bit more open in pack 3 is not the case. So looks like Tasker made the right choice in moving into white-black. I don't think we're playing this card. We might end up playing Alias Salient because, like, I don't know, it just maybe gets played, but I think both cases we're just sort of, you know, nitpicking here. Pack 3, pick 8, we're looking at the difference between a Gorehound and a Fester Leech. I think that the Fester Leech plays particularly well with, like, the Gorgon's Kiss if we're playing that. It also is just, like, I don't know, a 3-power attacker. It attacks for 3. That's really good. So let's go ahead and grab this card. Pack 3, pick 9. Nothing here for us, so we're going to hate draft the Gleaming Gear Drake. Pack 3, pick 10. Take your 20 gems. Pack 3, pick 11. I don't know if we're playing this Agency Corner. Maybe, likely not. Pack 3, pick 12. Nothing here. And Pack 3, pick 13. Nothing there for us either. Alright, so taking a look at the deck, I can see that we're heavy on 2s, which is exactly what we want. We want to get on the board early and often. In reality, these Dogwalkers are 3-drops, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 3-drops here, a couple 1-drops, and then quite a few tricks that are on 2. So our play here is hopefully like a Fester Leech or a Gorehound on 1, and then like a Perimeter Enforcer on 2, maybe a Morph on 3, but finally by the time we get to 4, maybe if our Morph was a Dogwalker, we flip that up. Otherwise, we've got like Auspicious Arrival and Long Goodbye. We could Soul Intervention. I think this deck is great. Looking at some of the things that are a little bit out of character, this Polygraph Orb doesn't feel particularly strong, but as we take a look down here at the deck, what are we really playing over it? You want to play this Case of the Gorgon's Kiss? Probably not. Are we Agency Corner? Probably not. You know, like, just none of these things are really that exciting. I guess we could Lead Pipe, maybe, but even then, that doesn't feel particularly strong, so I don't mind this in a more aggressive shell anyway. Because the whole point of this thing is that you're giving opponents a choice, but when you stop giving them that choice and the 3 life becomes very relevant, then the discard a card or sacrifice a creature modes are very good, right? So that's fine. You get a little card advantage of itself. I think you get to gain your life back with the Perimeter Enforcers pretty easily, so I'm not really worried about that. Overall, this seems like a sick deck. Seems like it's really sweet. Ended up going 3 and 2 here, cashing in for a cool $1,000. Thanks for submitting the deck. I had a good time. If you'd like your deck reviewed on Run It Back, feel free to send me an email at runitbackmtg@gmail.com or send me a message on Discord at the AGL server. You know what to do. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.